Hello there. I'm going to talk to you about this full moon in Capricorn happening around the 13th to the 14th of July. So what's Capricorn all about? Well, Capricorn is all about structure, boundaries, goals, planning for the future, security. So what we're up against is the fact that the sun is in Cancer, so it's going to make people feel quite sensitive, wanting to be home-based, focused maybe on family and home. And we've got this full moon in Capricorn, which is forcing us to look at our security, the balance of what we're doing with our work and in our career, in our outgoing life. So there's the ingoing life, trying to balance the private life with the more public life, with that which you are in the world and in the workplace. So here's the things that I think are going to come up during this Capricorn moon. Good things to be thinking about and focusing on. First thing would be about your finances. Have you been sensible with your finances? Do you need to reassess your finances? For example, if it's falling in your second house of finance, you may really need to look at your security needs. Have you been wasting money? Have you been very good with money? Have you maybe taken out too much debt? All these things come into question during this full moon in Capricorn, and with it being a full moon, it's going to shine a light on that particular life area. So for me, it's falling in my 7th house of relationships. So it's going to be a good time for me to look at the various structures I have in my relationships, whether my boundaries are clear enough. As well, what might come into play, which often comes into play for me because of Cancer being opposite it, is sometimes I have a desire to mix business with personal relationships. And it's not always been in my best interest or in the people with whom I've had those relationships where I've crossed boundaries. So I may have to look at those boundaries and see that I'm keeping them nice and clean and clear, which the full moon in Capricorn, I'm sure, will give me an opportunity to do. So you may be thinking about, well, am I working hard or am I being lazy? Because Capricorn is very much about working hard. But you may also want to think about, how could I work smarter rather than harder? That might be the question to be asking yourself. Have I been arguing for my limitations? Which thought patterns in my life are no longer working for me? And what lies am I telling to myself? And what do you want to complete and achieve in this next year? Whether it's falling in your chart, we're really a good time to think about what it is you want to achieve in this life area, because Capricorn is very much about achievement and having something to show for all the efforts that you've put in. And also, as well, during Capricorn time is also a good time to think of, what do I need to get rid of in order to grow? So here's some good things that you might want to do during this full moon in Capricorn. You might want to read a biography or watch an inspirational video about somebody who has overcome adversity, who's overcome obstacles and has succeeded. That's a very Capricorn inspirational thing to do. It's a good time to experiment with the earth, growing things, doing things maybe with animals, but connecting on an earth and a grounded, centered level. It's important to look at your fears and to proactively face them during this time. You might want to learn some practical skills. Capricorn is nothing if not practical. Also, good time to think about your survival. Have you got backups of survival things that you might need? Food, water, in case there's an emergency. And boy, we're living during emergency times for many of us. We're seeing changing weather patterns where we do need to be as prepared as possible. Great time during this full moon to put those preparations into action. You may need to keep your bank account up to date. If you do online banking, be sure maybe that you've changed your passwords, your security issues there. Make sure that your computer is fully protected. Capricorn is very much about protecting your security. It's a good time to take time out alone and have a good, long, hard look at your life, what's working and what's not, and where you need to make some changes. It's a good time to create clear boundaries in your life. And it's also very important during Capricorn moon. It gives you an opportunity to see things as they really are, rather than the way in which you might want to see them. So Capricorn is about giving yourself a good dose of reality in the house in which it's falling in your chart. Of course, if it's conjuncting or close to a planet, it's at 22 degrees, then it's going to have even stronger effect for you in your life. But enjoy the grounding feeling of this Capricorn full moon, and also get rid of extraneous things that are no use to you anymore, and focus on what it is you want to achieve, and on working smarter rather than harder. So I wish you all a very practical, tangible, and achievement-led full moon in Capricorn. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.